Liam Carter had always loved quiet nights. The observatory where he worked stood alone in a wide desert, far away from any town or busy road. Most people would feel lonely in a place like that, but Liam enjoyed the stillness. He liked hearing nothing but soft wind brushing across the dry sand and the slow hum of the giant radio telescope behind him. To him, the silence felt like a doorway to the universe. Every night, he listened to signals from the sky radio waves, strange pulses, tiny sounds that came from far beyond Earth. On this particular night, the sky was clear. Stars looked sharp, almost close enough to touch. Liam sat inside the small control room, sipping warm tea from a metal cup. His computer screens showed lines of data scrolling, numbers rising and falling like waves. Everything seemed normal until one line of data jumped suddenly. Liam frowned and leaned closer. A strange energy signal had appeared, something he had never seen in 5 years of work. He watched the screen again. The number rose higher. Then it spiked. That can't be right, he whispered to himself. He reset the system, thinking it was a glitch. But the signal came again stronger, sharper, and moving fast across the scanner. The telescope wasn't catching anything like a star or a comet. This was different. It looked almost like something controlled, something with direction. Liam stood up, his chair rolling back a little. His heartbeat quickened, not out of fear, but excitement. Astronomers dreamed of moments like this. A new discovery, a strange reading, something no one could explain. It made all the long nights worth it. He adjusted the telescope manually and typed in new commands. The screen changed to a live energy map. A bright dot glowed in the lower corner, growing brighter each second. No way. Liam breathed. Whatever was giving off this signal was getting closer. Much closer. The ground trembled softly beneath his feet, just enough for him to feel it through the floor. He froze. Earthquakes were rare in that region. The vibration came again, this time stronger. Liam walked outside and looked up at the sky. At first, he saw nothing but stars. Then a streak of silver light crossed the sky like a shooting star, except it was too bright, too slow, and moving in a strange curve. The light grew wider, and Liam realized it wasn't falling. It was landing. A long, glowing trail stretched behind it as it descended. Liam felt his breath catch in his throat. The object headed toward a part of the desert only a few kilometers away from the observatory. He hesitated. Should he call someone? The police? His department supervisor? But he knew what they would say. Stay put. Wait for a team. Let trained people handle it. But Liam also knew this was a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Something had fallen from the sky, something giving off a signal he had never seen before. He grabbed a flashlight, his data tablet, and a portable radio scanner, then hurried to the small utility truck parked outside. The roads in the desert were mostly dirt, uneven, and dusty. Liam drove slowly, trying not to lose control, but his hands trembled with anticipation. Every few minutes he checked his scanner. The energy signal grew stronger the closer he got. He could feel his curiosity rising like a warm rush in his chest. After about 15 minutes, he saw a soft glow ahead. Not bright, but enough to illuminate the sand around it. He parked the truck a safe distance away and stepped out, the cool night air brushing against his skin. Holding his flashlight tight, he moved forward carefully. The glow came from a smooth-shaped object half buried in the sand. It wasn't very large, maybe the size of a small car. The surface looked like polished metal, but it shimmered as if changing colors under the moonlight. It was silent, not smoking or sparking, just resting gently in the shallow crater it had made. Liam's mouth fell open. This was no meteor, no plane, no satellite. He stepped closer, each footstep slow and careful. His flashlight caught a small opening on the side of the craft, like a door, slightly ajar. Something inside moved. Liam stopped at once. The movement was small, gentle, like someone shifting their weight. He swallowed, his heart pounding loudly. For a moment, he considered turning back, but curiosity held him in place, stronger than fear. Taking a deep breath, he moved toward the opening. Inside, a soft blue light filled the space. It reminded him of moonlight reflected in water calm, serene. Then he saw her. A young woman lay inside the craft, unconscious or sleeping. She wore a fitted suit made of a silver-like material that shimmered with every small movement. Her hair, long and smooth, had a soft lavender tint that caught the light in beautiful waves. Her skin looked pale with a faint glow, like starlight touched her gently. Liam blinked, unsure if his mind was tricking him. The woman did not look injured, just resting, though her breathing was slow and shallow. He stepped inside carefully. His voice shook when he spoke. "Hello? Can you hear me?" The woman didn't respond. Liam reached for his scanner and pointed it toward her. The readings were unlike anything he had seen. Strange energy levels, soft pulses that matched the signal he had detected earlier. He wanted to help her, but he didn't know how. She was clearly not from Earth, or at least not from any place he could imagine, as he crouched beside her. She suddenly opened her eyes. They were bright, golden, warm, and shining, as if lit from within. Liam froze. The woman stared at him for a long moment, her eyes full of confusion, caution, and something gentle behind it. "You are not Vasari?" she said softly. Her voice was calm, smooth, and carried a musical tone he had never heard from any human. She spoke perfect English, but with a slight rhythm that felt almost poetic. Liam swallowed. I'm from Earth. My name is Liam." The woman's expression softened. She tried to sit up, and Liam quickly offered his hand to help her. She looked around the desert, closing her eyes briefly, as if sensing the air or temperature. "This world is safe," she whispered. "Different, but safe." Liam didn't know what to say. 1,000 questions filled his mind, but none of them came out. He only stared, amazed. The woman placed a hand on her chest. "I am Alira, Princess of the Vasari Star Dominion." Liam stared, his brain trying to process each word. Princess Vasari. Star Dominion. He had studied astronomy his entire life, but nothing prepared him for someone actually claiming to be from another world. A princess. Liam repeated weakly. Alira nodded, her long hair catching the pale blue light of her vessel. "My craft was damaged. I had no choice but to land here." Her breathing grew a little unsteady. She placed a hand on the wall of her craft for support. Liam noticed her hand trembling. "Are you all right?" he asked quickly. "The air," she murmured. "It is different from mine, but I will adapt. I only need time." Liam felt a surge of concern. He didn't know anything about alien biology, but he could tell she needed rest. "Come with me," he said gently. "The observatory is close. You can recover there." Alira studied him. Her golden eyes seemed to look straight into his thoughts. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then she nodded softly. "I trust you," she said. Liam helped her out of the craft. She moved slowly but gracefully, every step light, almost floating. Together, they walked toward his truck, the quiet desert stretching peacefully around them as they drove back. Alira looked out the window, watching Earth's night sky with curiosity and wonder, as if studying a place she had never imagined before. Liam kept glancing at her, still unsure if he was dreaming. But every time he saw her calm expression and the faint glow of her eyes, he knew it was real. Something extraordinary had happened that night. Something that would change his life forever, and it had only just begun. Liam drove slowly across the quiet desert road, careful not to hit any bumps that might make Alira uncomfortable. She sat in the passenger seat, hands folded neatly in her lap, her golden eyes watching the night sky through the window. Even though she looked calm, Liam could see she was tired. Her breathing was gentle, but slightly uneven, as if the air was still new to her body. He wanted to help, but he didn't know how. This was not like helping a normal visitor. She was from another world, a place he had never even heard of. The thought made his mind swirl with amazement and confusion. It all felt unreal. Yet Alira sat beside him as clear as moonlight. After a short drive, the lights of the observatory appeared. Alira looked at the large dome structure with interest, her head tilting slightly. "This place listens to the stars," she said in a soft, thoughtful voice. Liam blinked. "Yes, it does. How did you know? She closed her eyes for a moment as if listening to something he couldn't hear. Your machines. They speak in patterns. It is peaceful. He smiled nervously, unsure how to respond. She spoke about technology the way someone would talk about music. Every word she said carried a calm confidence, as if she understood the world in a deeper way. He parked the truck and helped her out carefully. The cool night breeze flowed gently around them. Alira took a slow breath, as though testing the air. She didn't seem frightened, only thoughtful. Inside the observatory, the air felt warmer. Liam guided her to a soft chair near the control desk. Please sit, he said. You should rest. Lyra lowered herself into the chair with a graceful movement, folding her hands again. Her suit shimmered faintly under the light, reflecting shades of silver and pale lavender. Everything about her looked delicate yet strong, like she belonged to a world more peaceful and gentle than Earth. Liam hurried to prepare something for her water. Maybe tea, though he wasn't sure what was safe for her. He returned with a glass of purified water. You can drink this, he said, hoping it was harmless. Alira accepted the glass, studying it with curiosity before taking a small sip. Her eyes softened. This is pleasant, she said. Your world has a simple beauty. Liam sat across from her, feeling his heart settle from the rush of the night. Now that things were calmer, he began to notice details, her soft glow, the way she observed every object with gentle interest, the calm rhythm of her voice. He had 1,000 questions, but didn't want to overwhelm her. Still, one question rested at the top of his mind. Princess Alira, he began slowly, why were you traveling alone? Alira looked at the glass in her hands, her expression growing a little distant. She took a steady breath before speaking. My vessel was meant to carry a message, she said quietly, a message of peace. But before I could deliver it, there was a disagreement among my people. She paused, choosing her words carefully. Some wished to change the direction of our future. I wished for unity. For that reason, I left my world for a short time so that I could send my message safely from space. But my vessel's power weakened unexpectedly, and I had to land on this world. Her tone remained gentle, not troubled or fearful, just honest. She didn't speak of anger or hormonal differences, misunderstandings, and choices she had to make. Liam appreciated how peaceful her explanation felt. So you're trying to reach your people? He asked. Alira nodded. Before I landed, I was trying to contact my loyal advisors. They must hear my message, or confusion may grow. Liam leaned forward. Can you repair your communication device? Alira looked toward her wrists where a small silver band lay. She pressed a soft button, but the device only flickered weakly. The atmosphere here changes the energy flow, she said. It needs time to adjust. Liam rubbed the back of his neck. He wanted to help, but her technology was far beyond anything he understood. Alira noticed his concern and smiled lightly. Do not worry. I will restore it. I only need rest. Her smile was gentle and warm, and it made Liam feel unexpectedly at ease. He stood up and went to fetch a blanket from the small storage room. When he returned, Alira was looking around the observatory, her golden eyes soft with wonder. You spend your nights watching the universe, she said. That must be peaceful. Liam chuckled quietly. Sometimes, but most of the time it's just data. Lots and lots of data. Alira tilted her head. Yet you still enjoy it. Yes, Liam admitted. It feels like I'm connected to something bigger, something beautiful. Lyra looked at him with a thoughtful expression, as if she understood him more deeply than he expected. You are a seeker, she said. Someone who follows questions instead of fear. It surprised him how gently she said it. He felt a little flustered and quickly held out the blanket. Here, he said shyly. You can use this until you feel stronger. Lyra took the blanket with a grateful smile and wrapped it around her shoulders. She closed her eyes briefly, the soft fabric warming her. This helps, she said softly. Thank you. Liam sat back down, unsure what to do next. He didn't want to stare, but it was hard not to. She was unlike anyone he had ever seen, yet she seemed so calm, so approachable. For a while, neither of them spoke. The observatory hummed quietly, machines softly counting signals from faraway stars. Alira finally opened her eyes again. "You said this place listens to the universe," she said. "May I see how?" Liam brightened. "Of course." He stood and moved to the main computer screen, showing her the live radio signals. Lines and waves moved gently across the display. "This shows the signals coming from deep space," he explained. "Most of them are natural-like stars, gas clouds, pulsars. But sometimes we catch strange signals that might be something else." Alira leaned closer, her beautiful golden eyes studying the screen with deep attention. "These patterns," she whispered softly, "they are comforting." "Comforting?" Liam asked. "Yes," she said. "Where I come from, we learn to read the language of the universe. We grow up listening to the soft songs of distant worlds." She closed her eyes again, as if hearing something familiar. Liam watched her in fascination. He felt as though he were seeing the universe through her eyes wide, peaceful, filled with harmony instead of chaos. Her voice softened. "Even now, far from home, the stars still speak." Liam had never thought of it that way. He looked at the monitor, and suddenly the waves of data seemed more alive. "Like gentle messages carried across time, you hear the stars differently than we do," he said. "We all hear them," Alira replied. "But some choose to listen more closely." She turned her gaze to him again, her expression warm. "That is why I trust you." Liam felt something in his chest shifts, something gentle and meaningful. Being trusted by someone from another world felt both humbling and extraordinary. Alira rested back in the chair. The blanket draped around her made her look more peaceful. But he noticed a slight weariness in her posture. "You should sleep," he said softly. "You're still adjusting to our air." Alira nodded. "Yes. Rest would help." Liam dimmed the lights and brought a small pillow. Alira lay back, closing her eyes. Her glowing hair spread softly across the pillow like strands of moonlight. Before she drifted off, she spoke in a quiet voice. "Liam, your world is very calm. I hope I do not bring trouble here." "You won't," Liam said gently. "You're safe here." Alira smiled faintly, her eyes still closed. "I believe you." Within moments, her breathing grew steady and peaceful. Liam watched her a moment longer, making sure she was comfortable. Then he sat at his desk, keeping an eye on the signals and on her. Feeling a strange but warm sense of responsibility, he didn't know what tomorrow would bring. He didn't know how her world worked or what dangers she faced. But one thing felt certain. Alira had trusted him, and he would do everything he could to help her send her message and find safety again. Little did he know that the signals she had spoken of would soon bring more than answers. They would bring changes he could never imagine. Liam woke early the next morning, long before the sun had fully risen. A soft orange glow slipped through the small observatory window, mixing gently with the pale lights of the machines. His back ached slightly from sleeping in the office chair, but he didn't mind. His first thought was Alira. He turned toward the resting area where he had left her the night before. Alira was sitting up, wrapped in the blanket, her eyes half closed in peaceful thought. She looked calm, almost glowing in the soft morning light. Her silver suit shimmered faintly, reflecting the colors of sunrise. When she noticed him wake, she offered a gentle smile. "Good morning." "Liam," she said in her soft, melodic voice. Liam smiled back, feeling strangely happy to see her awake. "Good morning. How are you feeling?" She took a slow breath. "Better. This world's air. It is lighter than my home, but it is also warm in its own way. My body is learning to adjust." "That's good," Liam said, relieved. "I was worried." Alira tilted her head slightly, observing him with curiosity. Humans carry concern so close to their hearts. It is very open. "I like that." Liam felt his cheeks warm. He wasn't used to compliments, especially not from someone who looked like she'd stepped out of a dream. Alira gently touched the silver band on her wrist. "My communicator is still weak. It tries to gather energy from your atmosphere, but it is slow. I must stay calm for it to recover." "You can stay here as long as you need," Liam said immediately. "This place is quiet. No one else comes until noon." Alira gave him a grateful look. Your kindness. It is uncommon. I thank you. Liam felt something soft move inside him, like a warm breeze passing through his chest. She spoke with sincerity that felt deeper than any words he knew. He made her a warm drink using herbal tea, simple, gentle, and hopefully safe. Alira held the cup carefully, studying the steam with fascination. Your drinks are warm like sunrise, she said, taking a small sip. Comforting, Liam laughed softly. I've never heard anyone describe tea like that. Alira smiled, then looked around the observatory. This place feels peaceful. It listens, it watches, it waits. On my world, we have temples that feel like this. Temples? Liam asked. What are they like? She closed her eyes for a moment, remembering. They are tall, made of clear stone, built on quiet hills. At night, when our twin moons rise, the temples glow softly. People come there to think, to breathe, to connect with the universe. Liam imagined it beautiful glowing buildings under two moons. It sounded too magical to be real, yet Alira spoke with such natural calm that he believed her. Your world sounds beautiful, Liam murmured. It was, she said softly. It is still beautiful, but something is changing. Liam waited quietly, letting her speak at her own pace. There are groups with different dreams for our future, she continued. Some want to expand, some want to retreat, some want to change our traditions. My voice was one of unity, but not all agreed. So confusion grew. She looked at her communicator again and gently placed her hand over it. My message was meant to bring clarity. Without it, the confusion may grow deeper. I'll help you send it, Liam said. Whatever you need, Alira looked at him with soft surprise. Why do you offer your help so easily? Liam paused, thinking. Maybe because if you're trying to protect your world from confusion, then your message matters. And you trusted me enough to tell me the truth. That means something. Alira's eyes warmed with appreciation. You are a good person, Liam Carter. He felt shy again. I'm just trying my best. Alira set her empty teacup aside and stood slowly. She still looked a little tired, but stronger than the night before. I want to see the device that listens to the stars, she said. The one that first heard my signal, of course, Liam said, guiding her toward the telescope room. The radio telescope towered above them, reaching toward the sky. Its metal structure shined under the morning light. Alira stared at it with wide, fascinated eyes. It is beautiful, she whispered. Beautiful? Liam repeated. Most people just call it a big metal dish. No, Alira said softly. It is more than that. It reaches for voices far away. It listens when others do not. It is patient. That is a kind of beauty. Her words made Liam see the telescope differently. He had worked here for years, but no one had ever described it with such gentle admiration. Alira placed her hand near the railing, not touching the telescope itself, but feeling the air around it. The patterns it heard, they were from my vessel, but they were also from me. My energy signature was inside them. Your energy signature? Liam asked. Yes, she said. All Vasari carry a natural energy. It moves with our emotions. When I felt worried during landing, the signature shifted. Your device heard the echo, Liam realized then. Without meaning to, he had listened to something deeply personal, something woven from Alira's own emotions. The thought made his heart beat a little faster. Alira turned to him, her eyes soft. When you heard my signal, did you feel anything unusual? Liam tried to remember. I felt excitement, curiosity, like something important was happening. Alira nodded gently. Your heart responded first. That is rare. On my world, we believe that when someone feels drawn to another's signal, even from far away, it may mean their energies match. Liam blinked. Match? She smiled lightly. Yes, like harmony between two different melodies. He didn't know how to respond. The idea felt warm, hopeful, a little overwhelming. But Alira didn't seem embarrassed by what she said. To her, it was simply truth. A soft beeping sound interrupted the moment. Alira looked down at her communicator. The small device glowed faintly. It is beginning to recover, she said. Slowly, but it is waking. That's good, Liam said. Does that mean you can contact your people soon? Soon, she nodded. But it needs more energy. Calm energy. Peace helps it repair, Liam thought for a moment. Then maybe you should stay inside and rest more. Alira smiled gratefully. You think like a healer. Liam laughed nervously. Trust me, I'm not. I can barely take care of my own plants at home. Alira giggled softly. Her laughter was light and musical, like soft chimes. Liam felt his stomach flip. She looked even more radiant when she laughed. They returned inside, and Alira settled into the soft chair again. Liam worked at the computer, checking the energy readings. For a while, they stayed in a peaceful silence. But as the morning grew late, Liam noticed something strange on the monitor. A new signal blinked into view, faint, but steady. That wasn't normal. He leaned closer. The readings were unusual. Not Alira's signal. Not a star or natural frequency. It was something searching, scanning. Liam's chest tightened with concern. He didn't want to worry Alira, but she noticed his expression immediately. What is it? She asked. It's a new signal, Liam said honestly. It looks like it's searching for something. Or someone. Alira's eyes softened, thoughtful rather than alarmed. Some groups in my world have vessels that can track energy trails. If they followed the path of my ship... Liam looked at her gently but seriously. Are your people coming here? Alira took a calm breath. Maybe, but I do not know who would come first. My supporters, or those who disagreed with my message. Is that dangerous? Alira shook her head gently. Not in the way you fear, but it may bring confusion. And confusion travels fast. Liam rubbed his forehead slowly. He didn't want anything frightening near Earth, but Alira's calmness helped him breathe easier. What should we do? He asked. Alira looked at him tenderly. We stay calm. We stay patient. We send my message as soon as we can. That is the best path. Liam nodded, trusting her. Alira touched his hand lightly just for a moment. You are not alone in this. Liam, we face it together. Her touch was warm, soft, and full of gentle assurance. For the first time, Liam realized something important. Their worlds were different, but their hearts were beginning to move in the same direction, and whatever came next, they would face it side by side. Liam kept watching the strange new signal as it slowly grew stronger on the computer screen. It pulsed in a steady rhythm, almost like a distant heartbeat. Alira sat beside him, quietly studying the pattern with her golden eyes focused and calm. She didn't look frightened, but something in her expression told Liam she understood this signal much better than he did. It is getting closer, she said softly. Liam nodded. Yeah, I can see that. Do you think it's one of your people? Alira took a slow breath. It might be. The pattern is familiar, but I cannot say which group it belongs to. Our people have many kinds of vessels, each with different energy signatures. Liam tried to stay calm, even though his stomach tightened with worry. He didn't want anything bad happening to Alira. He didn't want confusion or misunderstanding to reach Earth, and he definitely didn't want her to be taken away before she sent her message. Your communicator? He said, turning toward her. Is it almost ready? Alira lifted her wrist and tapped the small silver device. It glowed softly, brighter than before. It is recovering, she replied. But the connection it needs, that requires a clear sky and calm surroundings. I must send my message from an open place. The desert might work, Liam suggested. There's a wide cliff area not too far from here. It's quiet, open, and high enough to avoid signal interference. Alira gave him a gentle smile. Your knowledge of your world is very helpful. Liam laughed softly. I've lived here my whole life. You learn where the quiet places are. Alira stood slowly, the blanket still wrapped around her shoulders. Then we should go soon. Before the signal finds us here... Liam nodded and began quickly gathering supplies: his data tablet, a small flashlight, spare water bottles, and the portable scanner. He moved carefully, wanting everything ready so Alira wouldn't feel rushed or unsettled. Alira watched him with quiet appreciation. You are very thoughtful, she said. He smiled shyly. I'm just trying to help. Lyra tilted her head. You do more than help, Liam. You bring calm to a confusing situation. That is special. Her words warmed him deeply, more than he expected. He felt brave around her, braver than usual. Something about her presence encouraged honesty and kindness. Outside, the desert air was cool and refreshing. The sky had softened into a pale morning blue, with the sun still low. Liam opened the truck door for Alira, and she stepped inside gracefully. Even her smallest movements looked elegant, like her body carried natural harmony. They began driving toward the cliffs. The road was sandy and quiet, with only the sound of wind brushing past the truck. Alira looked out the window, observing every detail of Earth's landscape. Your world feels peaceful, she said softly. Even in its emptiness, it holds gentle energy. Liam glanced at her. I'm glad you like it. Most people think the desert is just empty space. It is not empty, Alira replied. It listens. It waits. It carries calmness in its silence. Our way of seeing the world made Liam appreciate his home even more. He realized how differently she experienced everything deeply, thoughtfully, with quiet respect. After about 20 minutes, the cliff area came into view. It was wide, flat, and open to the sky. The edge of the cliff overlooked a long stretch of sand dunes that glowed golden in the sunlight. Liam parked near the edge, and Alira stepped out slowly, looking around with fascination. This place is perfect, she said gently. Quiet, open, balanced. She walked toward the cliff's edge, standing tall with the wind softly blowing her lavender-tinted hair. Liam felt a strange sense of awe watching her. She looked like she belonged to the sky itself. Alira lifted her wrist and tapped the communicator again. The device began to glow brighter. She closed her eyes, letting the sunlight touch her face, and breathed deeply. It is almost ready, she whispered. Liam stood beside her, unsure how to help. Tell me if you need anything. Lyra opened her eyes slowly. I need calm, peace. Your presence brings that. Liam felt his heart skip. He didn't know how to respond at first. I'm glad I can help. Alira smiled softly. You help more than you know. For a while they simply stood together, watching the warm sky and listening to the desert wind. It felt peaceful, almost serene. But the peace didn't last long. Liam's scanner beeped softly. He looked at the screen. The searching signal had changed. It was no longer distant. It was close now. Very close. Alira, he said quietly. The signal. It's almost here. Shh, she turned, calm, but thoughtful. Then my message must be sent now. She raised her wrist, and the communicator glowed bright silver blue. A soft hum filled the air, gentle and warm. The light grew stronger, surrounding her like a soft aura. Liam stepped back slightly, watching with awe. Alira's eyes were closed, her expression peaceful and focused. The communicator projected a faint, shimmering symbol in the air, something that looked like a circle made of starlight. But before the message could complete, the scanner beeped again, dashed louder. Liam looked up instinctively. A faint, distant shimmer appeared in the sky, not fast or dangerous, but slowly growing clearer, like a gentle wave of light descending through the clouds. Alira opened her eyes and looked toward the sky, her expression soft with recognition. They have arrived, she said quietly. Liam felt his breath catch. Who? Your supporters? Alira didn't look afraid or worried. Instead, she looked grateful. Yes, I feel their energy. It is warm. It is familiar. Liam felt relief sweep through him. If they were her supporters, that meant she would be safe. That meant her message would reach her world, but a small ache formed in his chest. If her people were here, would she leave Earth? A gentle, glowing vessel slowly descended in the sky, nothing like the one she crashed with. This one floated gracefully like a drifting lantern made of light. It cast no harsh sound, only a soft hum similar to Alira's communicator. Liam watched in disbelief. It felt like witnessing a moment from a dream. Alira turned to him, her golden eyes warm and soft. You have helped me more than you understand. My message can reach the right ears now. My people will listen. I'm glad, Liam said, though his voice felt a little tight. I want you to be safe. Lyra stepped closer, her expression thoughtful, almost emotional. When you said you wished to keep me safe, your heart carried strong meaning. Liam swallowed. I meant it. I still mean it. She smiled gently, her eyes shining. Then I must ask you something, Liam Carter. She paused, searching his face with tender intensity. Were you, in your own way, asking to join your life with mine? Liam froze. His mind spun, his heart hammered. He had said something silly, something small, something he never expected her to take seriously. But she had heard the truth behind it, the feeling he didn't know how to put into clear words. Liam began, cheeks warming. I just didn't want you to go. I care about you. More than I expected. Lyra's smile deepened, soft and warm like sunlight. Then, were you asking to marry me? Liam's breath caught. The world seemed to pause. In her culture, trust meant something deep. Connection meant something sacred. And his feelings, his genuine wish to protect her, to stay by her side, had reached her heart clearly. He opened his mouth to answer. But the glowing vessel began its gentle descent toward them, and Alira looked toward it. They come to guide me home, she said softly, but I will return. Liam felt both relief and ache swirl inside him. You will. Alira touched his hand lightly, gently, warmly. Yes, Liam, our story is not finished. And your heart has already spoken to mine. The vessel landed softly behind her, glowing like a peaceful sunrise. She stepped backward slowly, her eyes never leaving his. I will send you a signal, she promised. One only you can hear. Liam nodded, unable to speak, his heart full. Alira smiled one last time, gentle, warm, full of quiet promise, and she stepped into the light. Liam stood alone inside the observatory, staring at the empty sky as if it held a part of him. It had been several months since Alira left Earth. The desert air had gone dry and quiet again. The nights felt colder than before. The silence inside the observatory was not new, but now it carried a different weight. It made him remember the sound of her voice, her soft laugh when she tried to understand human expressions, and her calm breath when she slept beside the telescope console. She had promised she would return once. Her world was safe again. She had stood on the ramp of her rescue ship, her eyes sad but hopeful, and said, "Wait for me. I will come back when everything is finally peaceful." And she had left him a crystal pendant small, shimmering, glowing faintly with gentle silver light. It was not just a gift. It was a promise. A symbol from her people that connected to lives across the sky. Liam kept that pendant with him every day. Sometimes he placed it on the table while he worked. Sometimes he held it in his hands when the nights felt too long. The glow calmed him. It made him feel as if she was still near, even though she was light years away. Work at the observatory continued as usual. He still listened to space, tracked signals, fixed equipment, and studied the patterns of stars. But deep inside, he was waiting, quietly, patiently, with a hope that never faded. Then one night, everything changed. He was reviewing the usual radio patterns when a faint, unusual rhythm appeared on the screen. It looked like static at first, but then it repeated, soft, steady, and strangely familiar. His heart began to beat faster, and he leaned closer. Trying to be sure he was not imagining it, it repeated again. A pattern she had taught him. A Vessery harmony code, something only she would know. He sat up straight, breath catching. The rhythm became clearer, turning into a longer message. Liam listened as the machine translated the tones into simple shapes on the screen. The message said he should stay awake. She was safe. She remembered everything. She missed Earth's skies. The message ended with 3 soft tones. The same 3 notes she had played for him when they were hiding in the desert. They meant, "Think of me." Liam stood up slowly, feeling excitement rising inside him like a warm wave. He stepped outside the observatory and looked at the sky. The stars were unusually bright, and the wind moved gently, as if carrying a secret through the night. For days after that message, more signals appeared. Each one was a little longer than the last. Some were updates about her mission. Some were simple greetings. Some were short reminders that she was thinking of him. Every time he heard her code, he felt something strong and peaceful inside him. But then, after 2 weeks, the signals changed again. They became sharper, faster, more urgent. The machine translated them as, "I am coming. Please be ready." Liam stared at the screen, hardly breathing. She had said she would come back after everything was safe. That time had come. He didn't know when she would arrive or where. But he felt something in his chest, sensed that he needed to go outside. It was almost midnight when the sky shifted. A small light appeared far above the desert, like a star moving in ways no star ever should. It grew brighter and brighter, its glow soft and silver, not frightening or loud. The light moved slowly and quietly, at landing behind the hills the same way her small vessel had arrived the first time. Liam didn't wait. He grabbed the pendant, closed the observatory door, and ran toward the hills. He didn't feel the stones under his feet or the cold wind brushing his face. All he felt was his heart pushing him forward. He reached the old crash site, now covered with sand and quiet again. A gentle glow rested in the center, a ship, much smaller than the rescue fleet, more like a personal craft. It opened slowly, releasing a soft wave of light, and then she stepped out. Alira, her armor was different, lighter, decorated with symbols that shimmered like starlight. Her hair flowed softly behind her, and her eyes were filled with emotion the moment they saw him. She took a step forward, then another, until she stood only a few feet away. Liam felt everything at once: relief, joy, disbelief, warmth, and a quiet happiness that reached deeper than words. He opened his mouth to speak, but no sound came out. Alira smiled. It was the same smile she gave him in the desert mountains, soft and slightly shy. She lifted her hand and pointed to the pendant in his palm. "You kept it," she said gently. "I hoped you would." "I kept it every day," Liam finally managed to say. His voice shook, but he didn't care. "I waited for you." "I know," she whispered. "I felt it, even from across the sky." She reached out and placed her hand over his. The pendant glowed a little brighter, as if recognizing her touch again. "I returned because the conflict has ended," she said. "My people are rebuilding. Peace has come back to us. And now, I came for you." Liam felt his heart tighten in an overwhelming, beautiful way. "You really came back?" "I promised I would," she replied. "An adversary never breaks a sacred promise." The wind moved softly around them. The night sky stretched wide and peaceful above. Alira stepped closer, her eyes shining. "Last time," she said with a gentle laugh, "you almost asked me something important, but everything happened too fast, and we never finished that conversation." Liam felt warm embarrassment rise to his face. "I didn't mean to say it like that, but..." The feeling was real. She looked at him with kindness. "Liam, on my world, when someone offers their heart with courage, we honor it. When someone stands beside us in danger, we trust them. You did both." She took a deep breath, as if gathering courage of her own. "So now I will ask clearly. Do you want to walk beside me? Not as a duty. Not because of fear, but because your heart chooses mine." The desert felt still. The stars felt sharper. Liam felt the meaning of her words deeply. She wasn't forcing anything. She wasn't expecting anything. She was giving him a choice, a simple, sincere, beautiful choice. He looked into her eyes. He felt the months of waiting, the nights of hope, the memories of their journey, and he felt calm. "Yes," he said softly, "I choose you." Something in her expression softened completely. Joy, relief, and deep affection filled her eyes. She gently touched the pendant, and it shone brighter than ever, connecting their hands with a warm glow. "Then our bond is sealed," she whispered. "And wherever we go next, we go together." She stepped back slightly and offered her hand. The ship opened behind her with a soft glow. Liam looked at the ship, then at her hand, then at the sky. His heart felt steady, peaceful, ready. He took her hand as they walked toward the light. Lyra said quietly, "The stars will welcome you, and so will my people." And together, they stepped into a future that waited beyond the Sky Two worlds, meeting through a promise, a choice, and a love that had crossed the universe to find its place.